Hi, I'm William,
And I'm Kat,
and this is Info on the Go.
answering questions you want to know.
So today, I actually picked this one. We're going to be talking about John Deere. You
The
know,
man, a little bit about the tractors, but the man
yeah,
behind John Deere,
absolutely, and a little bit about the company too, right?
a little bit,
A little
touches on
bit.
it.
Um, I picked this. I lived, grew up on a farm. I was always kind of interested in it. Didn't really think about a whole lot about it in my younger life, but as I got older, I kind of got more interested in it. And I know this is not one you want to talk about, Cat. However, I kind of found it a little bit interesting.
Well, at this point, it's definitely become an interest. I'm going to be paying more attention to the tractors I see drive by, or the ones that I drive by.
Perfect. I'll go on and kick it off just a little bit. John Deere, he was born February 7th, 1804, and he died May 17th, 1886. He was an American blacksmith, businessman, inventor, and politician. He founded Deere Company, one of the largest and leading agricultural and construction equipment manufacturers in the world. He was born in Rutland, Vermont. Deere had moved to Illinois and invented the first commercially successful steel plow in 1837. Um, like I said, he was the third son of William Reynold Deere, a merchant tailor, and Sarah Yates. After a brief educational period at Middlebury College, at age 17 in 1821, he began an apprenticeship with Captain Benjamin Lawrence, a successful Middlebury blacksmith, and entered the trade for himself in 1826. He married Demarius.
I would say Demarius,
Okay,
Demarius Lamb.
perfect. Okay, I'm not good with words. Yeah. He fathered nine children.
He then left Vermont in 1836, facing bankruptcy and his debtors. Oof. Didn't want to pay that debt off, I reckon.
No, but
It,
what was he like?
what do we think?
21?
36 minus 4, right?
Yeah.
Be 32.
No,
So, no, wait.
27, right?
1804 was when he was born in 1836.
Okay. Okay. I'll do the quick math.
You do the quick math.
You keep going.
Oh, okay. So he settled in the Grand Detour of Illinois. I'm not sure. Never been there, but I'm sure it's a nice place. At the time, Deere had no difficulty finding work due to a lack of blacksmiths working in the area. Deere found that cast iron plows were not, excuse me, were not working very well in the tough prairie soil of Illinois, and remembered the needles he had previously polished by running them through sand as he grew up in his father's tailor shop in Rutland. Deere came to the conclusion that a plow made out of highly polished steel and correctly shaped moldboard, a self-scouring steel plow, would be better able to handle the soil conditions of the prairie, especially its sticky clay.
Yeah,
I
he
can
was
imagine
32.
using, yeah. So I can imagine the the steel worked a lot better than the cast iron because I'm sure cast iron really did stick to the clay.
Well, think about that cast iron skillet you have on your stove, right? How do you
Yeah.
think that would be in dirt trying to move it? Um,
Mm-mm. Not
right.
sticky dirt, maybe sand.
Yeah, definitely sand.
Not sticky dirt. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
The
Um,
varying versions serve as the oh wait, say varying versions serve as the inspiration for Deere's famous steel plow. In one version, he recalled the way the polished steel pitchfork tines, hmm,
yes.
move through hay and soil, and thought that same effect could be obtained for a plow. Another version is that he used an old saw blade that had been polished from years of use.
I think
Yes.
I think the tines probably tie in better, but like I said, there's no real definite answer of how he came up with polishing the steel, right?
Right.
In
So
1837, Deere developed and manufactured the first commercially successful cast steel plow. The wrought iron frame plow had a polished steel shape. This made it ideal for the tough soil for the Midwest. And and it worked better than other plows. By early 1838, Deere completed his first steel plow and sold it to a local farmer, Lewis Crandall, who quickly spread word of his success with Deere's plow. Subsequently, two neighbors soon placed orders with Deere. By 1841, Deere was manufacturing 75 to 100 plows per year. Wow.
That's a lot, really.
That,
Like that's a lot for him to
that
be
is
slaving over a forge.
seriously. Have you ever worked a forge or done anything with a forge?
Not personally, no, but I do find it fascinating.
Uh, Definitely. I haven't really personally done anything, but I've watched some people, and I think it is definitely fascinating. And to think of it, to put it in that perspective, you're right. That is a lot of plows for one person to be doing in a year, right?
Yeah, I mean, oof, that's a
While
lot.
his seriously, while his experiments produced many variations, all of them fashioned from steel, which was much stronger than iron designs. Just as importantly, and unlike cast iron, the dense soil didn't stick to the steel, which saved farmers the hassle and time spent cleaning them off. His first plow was ready to sell by early 1838, which he sold to a local farmer, again, Lewis Crandall. His rave reviews helped convince two neighbors to place orders, capping the only three sales Deere had finished in his first year. So I'm assuming the 75 to 100 was his second year, uh, probably his third year, right?
I would think so if he only sold three the first year.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the third year. Let's see, 37, 38. No, I guess that would be 3 years into it. He was doing 75 to 100 plows.
Yeah.
In 1843, Deere partnered with Leonard Andros to produce more plows to keep up with the demand. But the partnership became strained due to the two men's stubbornness. While Deere wished to sell to customers outside of Grand Detour, Andros, I know, right? I was about to say Decatur, Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Um, Andros,
Almost quite.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I said just almost, but not quite.
Yeah, for real. I caught myself. I was like, wait a minute, that's not. Uh,
Detour, detour.
what detour? No. Uh, Andros opposed a proposed railroad through Grand Detour. Also, there was Deere's distrust in Andros accounting practices. In 1848, Deere dissolved the partnership with Andros and moved to Moline, Illinois. There's a backstory to that. I just can't get into it. Because the city was a transportation hub on the Mississippi River. By 1855, Deere's factory sold more than 10,000 such plows. It became known as the plow that broke the plains and is commemorated as such in a historic place marker in Vermont. And I think to commemorate a plow in Vermont, that is huge, right?
I agree. I agree. That's pretty, just a plaque. Like, we commemorated other folks for less.
True.
All right, so later in life, Deere focused most of his attention on civil and political affairs. He served as president of the National Bank of Moline, as a director of the Moline Free Public Library, and was a trustee of the First Congressional Church. Deere also served as Moline's mayor for 2 years, but due to chest pains and dysentery, Deere refused to run for a second term. I don't know if I'm having chest pains and dysentery, I'm probably not going to be doing a whole lot either. Okay, that's fair.
Seriously.
That
I
does not
agree.
sound like a fun time to me. He refused to run for a second term. Okay, in 1875, he acquired, expanded, and modernized the house now known as John Deere House. He died at home, named by him, Red Cliff, on May 17th, 1886, at the age of 82.
He lived a pretty long life, didn't he?
At 82, yeah, that's pretty good for that time.
I'll take on the company real quick, and I'll let you leave it. I'll let you take back over as it where it was ranked at. Okay.
Oakley doke.
Deere Company, doing business as John Deere, is an American corporation that manufactures agricultural machinery, heavy equipment, forestry machinery, diesel engines, drivetrains, axles, transmissions, and gearboxes used in heavy equipment and lawn care equipment. It also provides financial services and other related activities. Deere Company is listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol DE. The company's slogan is "Nothing runs like a deer," and its logo is a leaping deer with the words John Deere. And we'll get in a little bit more about the logos and how they all worked and how they changed over the years. It has used various logos incorporating a leaping deer for over 155 years. It's headquartered, guess what? It's not in Delaware, it's in Moline, Illinois.
It ranked number 84 in the 2022 Fortune 500 list of the largest United States corporations. Its tractor series include D Series, E Series, specialty tractors, super heavy duty tractors, and JD Link. In early 1843, Deere entered a business partnership with Leonard Andrus, which we had talked about, and purchased land for the construction of a new two-story factory along the Rock River in Illinois. It used water power to operate machineries. This factory, named the L. Andrus Plow Manufacturer, produced about 100 plows in 1842 and around 400 plows during the next year. That's crazy.
That is insane.
That's crazy. Like how big would that factory have already had to be?
Well, think about what this they produced in a factory 100 plows in 1843. In 1841, he produced 100 plows, 75 to 100 by himself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm. Um, Deere's partnership with Andrus ended in 1848, and Deere relocated to Moline, Illinois, to have access to the railroad and the Mississippi River. That's really probably the best business decision, honestly.
Seriously, because he was able to get his product out off the Mississippi River for sure.
Yeah, the
And
railroad and the
railroad,
Mississippi.
yeah, the
Like that was
railroad was
everywhere.
huge. Seriously.
There, there, Deere formed a partnership with Robert Tate and built a 1,440 square foot factory the same year. John Gold was later brought in to manage the accounts. Production rose quickly. By 1849, the Deere and Tate and Gold Company was producing over 200 plows a month. A month.
Well,
He went from 75 to 100 in 1 year by himself to double that in 1 month.
think about we're 200 plows a month, and with Andros, he was producing 400 plows a year.
Right. See, he more than doubled his money there.
Yeah, seriously.
A two-story addition to the plant was built, allowing further production. Whew.
That's huge. I mean, man, you have the one story that's 1,440 square feet, and then you
Right.
add two stories to that.
Right.
That
It's wild.
I wonder what the fire safety was like in that building.
Well, now I'm not sure if they had any codes back then. I doubt they did.
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
have to definitely do one on that. That is a
on
whole
fire
amazing.
safety.
Yes, and how it
Yeah,
came about.
exactly. Because I mean,
Oh,
I know, back in the day when we had, little just cabins or whatever, just the townsfolk in a well hope for the best with some buckets.
well, I think it came about in New York. We'll have to do an episode on it, but I believe before that they were locking doors and keeping people inside. And this one
Oh,
factory burned up. I think it was a sewing factory, but until we actually get into the episode, we'll just say that we'll put a pin in that, right, for later
put a
on.
pin in it. Pin it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Um, the company logo used between 1876 and 1912. Uh, Deere bought out Tate and Gold's interest in the company in 1853 and was joined in business by his son Charles Deere. At the time, the company was manufacturing a variety of farm equipment products in addition to plows, including wagons, planters, and cultivators. In 1857, the company's production totals reached almost 1,120 implements per month. Wow. We go from 200 a month almost to, I don't even know, what is it, quadruple? Uh,
Yeah. And even more because it's not just plows at this point.
yeah, they're manufacturing all kind of stuff. In 1858, a nationwide financial recession took a toll on the company. During this period, the company announced its work on a steam engine that would pull its plow, but the product did not materialize. To prevent bankruptcy, the company was reorganized, and Deere turned over his interest in the business to his son-in-law, Christopher Weber, which would prove to be instrumental in the company's success, and his son, Charles Deere, who would take on most of his father's managerial roles. Jeez,
What kind of accent are you going with there?
I don't know, man. Uh, John Deere served as president of the company until his retirement in April 1886, but he died 1 month later in May of 1886 in Moline, Illinois. The company was again reorganized in 1868 when it was incorporated as Deere and Company. While the company's original stockholders were Charles Deere, Stephen Vale, George Vinton, and John Deere, Charles effectively ran the company. In 1869, Charles began to introduce marketing centers and independent retail dealerships to advance the company's sales nationwide. The same year, Deere and Company won Best and Greatest Display of Plows and Variety in the 17th Annual Illinois State Fair, for which it won $10 and a silver medal.
I gotta
You,
know if that $10 was worth it.
hey, listen, this, hang on, I can, what year was that? 1869?
Yes.
All right, I tell you what, you take on, I'll jump in and see what $10 was worth in 1869.
All right. The core focus remained on the agricultural implements, but John Deere also made a few bicycles in the 1890s, which we couldn't find pictures for, but I have to know if anybody can find one. I want to know what it looks like. In 1912, Deere and Company President William Butterworth, which was Charles's son-in-law, I see, who had replaced Charles Deere after his death in 1907, began the company's expansion into the tractor business. Deere and Company briefly experimented with its own tractor models, the most successful of which was the Dane all-wheel drive, but in the end it decided to continue its the foray into the tractor business by purchasing the Waterloo Gasoline Engine Company in 1918, which manufactured the popular Waterloo Boy tractor at its facilities in Waterloo, Iowa. Deere and Company continued to sell tractors under the Waterloo Boy name until 1923 when the John Deere Model D was introduced. The company continues to manufacture a large percentage of its tractors in Waterloo, Iowa, namely the 7R, 8R, and 9R series.
By the way, that was $10,000. $10 in 1869. What was that? 1869
Yeah,
would have been $10,000.
well, that was definitely worth it then.
Yeah, now you know why people are like, give them a quarter.
I'm saying, give him a.
Uh,
Shoot,
do
I
you
wish
remember that?
quarters.
I remember when I was a kid, I could go to the store with $1 and buy like a soda and a candy bar and still have money left over for like the penny candies.
Mm,
All right, I'm
I wasn't allowed
still,
to go to the store by myself, so
yeah, I'm telling my age now.
there was a slight difference there. I was not absolutely not allowed to leave the house by myself. Absolutely not.
What is there like a 20-year age difference between us?
I believe so.
Okay. All right.
Something like that.
The company produced its first combine harvester, the John Deere number 2, in 1927. This featured improvements and modifications to Model D, such as higher power level due to increased cylinder bore. A year later, this invention was followed up by the introduction of John Deere number 1, a smaller machine that was more popular with customers. By 1929, the number 1 and number 2 were replaced by newer, lighter weight harvesters. In 1930, John Deere and other farm equipment manufacturers began developing hillside harvesting technology. Harvesters could now have the ability to effectively use their combines to harvest grain on hillsides with up to a 50% slope grade. And I'm here to tell you, growing up on a farm, working on some hillsides and stuff, that's freaking huge for back then. Like, I can't even imagine what a 50% slope, like, no,
Is that
I
just
just,
like basically looking at a wall?
yeah, kinda. I know we picked some cotton once before in a place that was really hilly, and I was thinking, man, like you would have to go straight up and straight down. There was no side to side on it whatsoever. And nowadays you see extended rear wheels, extended front wheels, where these tractors can go on the side of the hills.
Right, without
Um,
tipping
but they didn't
or
have that in
less of a chance.
1929 for sure. And
I bet not.
to be harvesting on the hillsides like that, that
Mm-mm.
is huge.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So, on an episode of the Travel Channel series Made in America that profiled Deere and Company, host John Ratzenberger stated that the company never repossessed any equipment from American farmers during the Great Depression, that's pretty nice, actually.
Yes.
During World War II, the great grandson of John Deere, Charles Deere Wyman, was president of the company, but he accepted a commission as a colonel in the U.S. Army. Burton F. Peake was hired as president during this period. Before Wyman returned to work at the company in late 1944, he directed the Farm Machinery and Equipment Division of the War Production Board. In addition to farm machinery, John Deere manufactured military tractors and transmissions for the M3 tank. They also made aircraft parts, ammunition, and mobile laundry units to support the war effort.
That had to solidify Deere's um
Standing in America, period.
absolutely. You got to think you got a major player in the Deere Company working behind the scenes and
But actually working with the war effort and being a part
selling
of
their
it.
products and things like that, which
Right.
kind of helps solidify the company just a little bit more.
Right. And then to not have repossessed anything during the Great Depression. I mean, I can only imagine people were just doing the best they could. And if they had their tractor repossessed, it would have put them back even further.
Yep. And that sounds like an episode, The Great Depression, right?
Yes, because I mean, we know kind of about the Great Depression.
Yep. There's a lot of myths out there, like people jumping out of windows and stuff that didn't really happen. In
Yeah.
1947, John Deere introduced its first self-propelled combine, Model 55. It was soon followed by the smaller models 40 and 45. The larger 95 and even larger 105 was introduced in the 1960s. In the mid 50s, Deere introduced an attachable corn head, allowing corn producers to use their combine to pick, shell, and clean corn in one smooth operation. Can you only imagine what they were doing before then? They were having to bag it up. Like I didn't take the time to look this up, but I'm pretty sure they would take the harvester through the field. It would pull the corn heads out. They would have to take the ears and then run it through another machine, then sack it up. Like it was just a lot.
It sounds like a lot. I mean, shucking corn is a lot to do just by yourself with like five. Okay.
Seriously.
Let alone like 5,000. Ooh,
In 1956, Deere Company bought out the German tractor manufacturer. What did we say this was?
Heinrich. Yep.
Heinrich Lentz AG. And I'll let you take over the 21st century.
All right. So as of 2018, Deere and Company employed about 67,000 people worldwide, of which half are in the United States and Canada. And it is the largest agriculture machinery company in the world. In August 2014, the company announced it was indefinitely laying off 600 of its workers at plants in Illinois, Iowa, and Kansas due to less demand for its products. Inside the United States, the company's primary locations are its administrative center in Moline, Illinois, and manufacturing factories in central and the southeastern United States. The logo of the leaping deer has been used by this company for over 155 years. Over the years, the logo has had minor changes and pieces removed. Some of the older style logos have the deer leaping over a log. The company uses different logo colors for agricultural versus construction products. The company's agricultural products are identifiable by a distinctive shade of green paint, with the inside border being yellow. And when I tell you that is a definitive green, that is some green. That's
John
I
Deere
know that.
green.
Yeah.
There's no other explanation for it. It is John Deere green and John Deere yellow. Like it just, it's different. It's way different.
Right. And so then by contrast, the construction products are identifiable by a shade of black, with the deer being yellow and the inside border also being yellow, which, I mean, black and yellow sounds pretty neat. Okay.
Yeah.
That
And
green.
they do
Oof.
have an anniversary John Deere tractor that is black. Um,
Ooh.
okay. Well, all right. So we're going to quickly go through some of the other stuff here. In September 2017, Deere and Company signed a definitive agreement to acquire Blue River Technology. We're going to get into that in a little bit, which is based in Sunnyvale, California, and is applying machine learning to agriculture. Blue River has designed and integrated a computer version of machine learning technology that will enable growers to reduce the use of herbicides by spraying only where weeds are present. And key takeaways. Early inventions. Deere's first major invention was the polished steel plow in 1837, designed to cut through the Midwest soil. This product established Deere's reputation and innovation in farming equipment. The product range is agriculture tractors, combines, planters, sprayers, and harvesters. Construction is excavators, bulldozers, loaders, and backhoes. Forestry, filler bunchers, I don't know what that is, skidders, and log loaders. Lawn
Feller
care.
bunchers. Isn't that like bunching trees together because you fell a tree?
Oh, you know what? You're right. That yeah, okay.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, I'll look it up right quick. You keep going.
All right, okay. Lawn care, residential and commercial mowers, utility vehicles, and compact tractors. Its global presence. John Deere operates in over 100 countries with manufacturing facilities across the US, Europe, Asia, and South America. Its products are tailored to regional agricultural needs. Technology integration. John Deere has pioneered precision agriculture with John Deere Operations Centered, a digital platform that integrates GPS sensors and data analysts to improve farming efficiency and sustainability. Deere's sustainability focus. The company is committed to sustainability farming practices, developing energy efficient machinery, and exploring renewable energy solutions. Deere and Company's financial strength, listed on the New York Stock Exchange, as we mentioned above, is DE. John Deere consistently ranks among the Fortune 500 companies due to its strong performance.
All right. So a feller buncher is a type of harvester used in logging. It is a motorized vehicle with an attachment that can rapidly gather and cut a tree before felling it. Feller is a traditional name for someone who cuts down trees, and bunching is the skidding and assembly of two or more trees.
Okay, I know what it is. So it comes up, it cuts the tree down, it flips it over, and then it delimbs it all in one shot, making it one solid piece of wood.
Right,
Okay.
right.
All right, I know what that is. Just didn't know what that was called. I know what a skidder is.
I didn't know
Uh,
what it was there, but I've seen them, at least in videos.
I'll take on cultural impact, and then you can take on challenges and controversies.
Okie doke.
Cultural impact. The brand is recognized for its on a green yellow scheme and its logo of a leaping deer. It has become a symbol of rural America and agricultural innovation.
The challenges and controversies. John Deere, while celebrated for its contributions to agriculture and engineering, has faced several controversies over the years. Here are some of the key issues. Right to repair movement. Issue. Farmers and equipment owners have accused John Deere of restricting their ability to repair their machinery. The company's equipment often uses proprietary software that prevents third party repairs or modifications. Impact. Farmers have to rely on authorized John Deere technicians for repairs, which can lead to delays and higher costs. It does sound annoying. That does sound very annoying.
Yes.
Um, so, The other one, response, Deere has defended its practices, citing concerns about safety, environmental standards, and intellectual property. However, under increasing pressure, Deere has made some agreements to expand access to repair tools and continues to face scrutiny. The
Monopolistic. I'll take this one on.
monopolistic. There you go.
Monopolistic practices or allegations, I guess I should say. John Deere is accused of monopolizing the agricultural equipment software market by requiring users to use its proprietary systems. Critics argue that Deere effectively locks out competition. Several lawsuits have been filed among Deere's dominance, which violates antitrust laws. Some farmers claims this solidifies this basically stalemates competition and innovation against other companies, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Worker strikes and labor relations. In 2021, that's pretty recent, United Auto Workers strike. Over 10,000 John Deere workers went on strike to demand better wages, benefits, and working conditions. The strike lasted several weeks and highlighted dissatisfaction among employees over increasing workloads and perceived inequities. Resolution. A new 6-year contract was eventually approved, including wage increases and improved pension plans, but the event exposed tensions between the company and its workforce. Oof.
and you know what? That 6-year contract will be coming up relatively soon, in about 2 years, right? At the time of this recording, anyway.
Something like that, yeah.
Environmental concerns. While John Deere markets itself as a champion of sustainability, critics argue that some of its products contribute to soil degeneration, deforestation, and greenhouse gas emissions. The company's response has taken steps to address these concerns, such as developing electrical and energy efficient machinery. But environmental groups still challenge its broader impact.
Dependency on proprietary technology. The issue, Deere's advanced machinery relies heavy on GPS, sensors, and software, but there have been concerns about cybersecurity risks and data ownership. Farmers have questioned whether Deere owns the data generated by their machines and how this information is used. Um, Farmers fear data could be shared with third parties or used against them to manipulate prices or competition.
Think about that. If they're using that data to increase prices or, I mean, manipulate prices or competition, like that goes back to the monopolistic practices, right?
Right, exactly.
Accessibility and cost issues. Deere is under criticism for its machinery is often prohibitively expensive for small scale farmers, particularly in developing countries. This has led to debates about whether Deere prioritizes large scale agribusiness at the expense of smallholders. Critics argue that this
Exacerbates
exacerbates, I knew I had said that wrong. That's why I stopped. Exacerbates global agricultural inequities,
inequalities.
inequality. Lord have mercy. I'm way out there. I'm going to give a case example here. Deere has aggressively defended its intellectual property, including filing lawsuits against competitors and farmers accused of infringing on its patents. While this protects its innovations, it has led to claims of overreach and stifling competition. Make sure you give us a review wherever you get your podcast from. Follow us on
Follow us on
Facebook
Facebook.
at
Info
Info on
on
the
the
Go.
go.
Make sure you leave us a review wherever you get your podcast from. Who knows? Kat might read it. And she might do a good job of it at it.
Well, I can try. I can certainly try. But we would love to hear from you. We'd love to hear ideas or um, episodes, ideas, or anything like that.
Absolutely. And with that being said, that is Info on the Go. Thank you for listening.
Catch you next time.